Hey guys, and welcome to my first FIFA 22 YouTube video. As you can see, we got FIFA 22 up with the smiling man, the beautiful guy Mbappe, looking like he's about to move to FIFA to Real Madrid, but I mean, you know, it is what it is. And we've already messed up in this video, so we're starting out strong for FIFA 22. That's okay. This is going to be a little bit of a different video for me. I like doing these types of videos. Hold on, let me turn the music down just slightly. There we go. I like doing these types of videos at the beginning of FIFA and stuff like that. Last year, we did like best midfielders, best attackers, best defenders, things like that. I might stay away from that. I might just go over like what I think I'm gonna do as far as like an RTG. I already know what I'm gonna do as far as an RTG, but what I think I'm gonna do is like a team, a beginner team, things like that. But I won't be like, oh my god, best beginner team in FIFA 22 and things like that, you know? So this video is gonna be a little bit different. It's going to be what I think will be the most meta things in FIFA 22. All right, and this is gonna be from things I've heard from the beta, things we've seen on the the patch notes, and also things we've had from previous FIFAs. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm very, very excited, and I hope you guys are also. If you have any suggestions of what you think will be the most meta things in FIFA, go ahead and let me know. So basically, over the years, guys, there's been many meta things in FIFA, and we're gonna start with 2018, FIFA 18, the low-driven shot. Now, this was personally one of my favorite like meta things because you could it was basically a scoring opportunity from anywhere. No matter how the person was defending, you could basically score from anywhere, and it was fantastic. So we're gonna go over it twice. There's always been meta tactics, meta moves, meta things in FIFA, and then the next few are gonna come from FIFA 19, and then we'll go to a little bit with FIFA 20 and 21. I don't have any clips of those, but the ones in FIFA 19, as you'll see here, we have everyone's favorite, the back post tornado cross. Just look at that, man. It was so broken, and then obviously up to a tall man like, I don't even remember, probably Ibra. Then we go here with everybody's other favorite thing from FIFA 19. Just look at this shot from Charlison. First time finesses. You guys remember those? Those were just so freaking stupid, man. And then if you timed them, like it's gonna come up in the next clip, it's just absolutely insane. Time shots back in FIFA 19 were just so stupid, and first time finesses, first time shots in general were so stupidly broken. And that's one of the things that I think will come back in FIFA 22, but we're gonna get back on that in a little bit. Here is the time shooting. As you can see there, I had to record a YouTube video. That was a first time finesse outside of the foot shot with Firmino. Here's a time shot from Piatti. What is that shot? That's just stupid, man. Like, how good is that goal? First time, not quite first time, sorry, but timed from about what, 30 yards, 25 yards out. It's just absolutely insane. It's something that I used a lot. It's something that a lot of the content creators and pro players used a lot, and it's something that we're gonna see a lot in FIFA 22, I think. And this last one of the first times you could abuse like skill moves like this, like just absolutely crazy, so much so that they had to nerf it in FIFA 20, is this goal from Heung-min Son back in FIFA 19. A lot of these from FIFA 19. Oh, look at their croquetas, guys, just stringing them together. No skill cooldown, no nothing like that. And he's gonna go in and he's gonna watch this here. Like, just look at the run here from Heung-min Son. Absolutely wild. If you could do this in this year's game, now you can do like the croqueta cancels and everything like that, but they're getting taken out of FIFA 22. It would be absolutely insane. So we're gonna go over a little bit of what I think is gonna be meta in this year's games. You may agree with it, you may disagree with it, but yeah, let me know what you think, and we'll be right back. All right, so here we are, boys. I've already done this part of the video once. I recorded for 12 minutes, and I was muted the whole time, so I'm going to go over it again. I'm going to go over all my thoughts again, and hopefully this time it'll be a little bit cleaner, but you guys won't know that because you didn't see the first one where I was muted or hear it. So, you know, there we go. I'm going to go over a few things that I think could be like realistic, like actual meta things in FIFA 22. And I'm also going to have 2 or 3 like out there ones. They're kind of all like the out there ones are kind of all the same, and a few of the ones that I think could be real are kind of all the same as well, but they all have their own like uses and ways that you can do things with them and things like that, okay? So, for the first thing, we're going to stay mostly on this page, but this one isn't on the page. It's just something that I've heard from the beta, is that timed finishing might be back, and I really hope it is, because in FIFA 19, as you guys saw a second ago, time finishing was just crazy. Anytime you timed a shot, it basically went in. I hope that they make keepers better, but also that they make time finishing better, so like it balances out. Like, not all time finishes should go in, but also not all shots should be saved. So if they balance it correctly, that could increase the skill gap a lot, and we could have just a very good game on our hands to where like the skill gap will be increased because your time finishing is good, but also won't be like too crazy because keepers are still okay. You know what I mean? I do think that what happened was, back in FIFA 19, basically what happened was you had about 10, like, not exact numbers or anything like that. You had like 7 milliseconds after your first initial input and ball contact with the player's foot to press B or your shooting button again, circle, whatever you want to do. And that would green time the shot. They then reduced it to about 3 to 4 milliseconds after ball contact with the player's foot. And when that happened, it made it impossible to do time finishing basically in FIFA 20 and 21. So you don't see it used too often. But if you're really good at it, it does work very well, and it increases the skill gap a lot. I think that they have gone and upped that time, so made it from 3 to 4 milliseconds to maybe back to 7, maybe at 5 or 6, just to make it a little bit easier to time finish and have people do that. Again, those are rough numbers, they're not exact. I don't remember exactly how they've done it, but I do think that could be a very good thing coming up in FIFA 22. Now, with the page here, we are on the gameplay deep dive, the patch notes. There's mostly everything is in this new attacking and new on FIFA 22 system here. So the first one we're going to go over is this first one right here, is Kinetic Air Battles. Now with Kinetic Air Battles, I think that you're going to want people good in the air, and you're going to want very physical players. Now, that sometimes go hand in hand, sometimes it doesn't. Like, guys like Lukaku, they will be good in the air and they'll be very physical. Or you're going to want somebody who's tall and good in the air, not necessarily physical, you know what I mean? So I do think that crosses are going to be broken. Corners are going to be broken again. And we're going to go through FIFA 22 needing these taller players. Because, I mean, just look at the way this guy does it. This guy's very good in the air. And basically, the red guy here goes under the guy who's blue, the attacker. The defender goes under the guy who's attacking, and he's just working his way around, like fighting for the ball, basically. I think that's going to be something that's very good in FIFA 22, and I do think it's something you'd be able to take advantage of. Basically, what you could do is you could take your goalkeeper and you could send it up to your tallest player on the pitch no matter where you are. You know, if you are passing the ball back from your right back, right wing, all the way to your goalkeeper, they could go ahead and just pass it up to whoever your tallest player is. So if that's your CDM, throw it up to him. He's most likely going to win the header, in my opinion. This year, like, they sometimes don't. And I also think they'll be able to control the ball a little bit better, because when EA are putting something in like these Kinetic Air Battles, they're going to have to put something in that allows you to clear the ball in the way that you want. So if you look at it, he heads the ball away from everybody, and it gets to his player. I think these are going to be so broken in the attacking and the defensive sense of things, and I think that it's just going to be good for everybody to finally have good headers. Now, with the second thing we have, I already talked about headers. Obviously, right up here, if we go all the way up, right under it, we have this one right here, Explosive Sprint. Now, we all know how meta the bridge dribble was this year. And I think this is going to be much like it, except for the sense that this will be used on mostly counterattacks and maybe like running into the box, which like the bridge dribble was used in the same sense. But just look at this, man. You use that explosive sprint and he's just gone, bro. He is absolutely just gone, and it's going to be crazy. It's the reason I think that right backs and left backs necessarily won't necessarily be bad at center back anymore, or won't necessarily be bad at center back like people think they will be, because while they are going to be nerfing like their defensive positioning and their awareness and things like that, they're not going to nerf their pace. So somebody using like an Mbabu or a Mendy at center back and whatnot are still going to do very well, because this explosive sprint is so important to attackers that the center backs are going to have to do be fast also. So fast center backs like Varane maybe like the Koundés of the world, you got Vinicius now later in FIFA 21, are going to be so important, guys. And I do think that this explosive sprint is just going to be crazy broken. Now, moving swiftly on, because we are going much faster than we did in the first part of the game. I hope I'm getting all of my thoughts out and you guys are understanding. We have this one right here. Let's see, new attacking, composed ball control. Look at this, man. Look at the composed ball control here with Phil Foden. Is that Foden? Yeah. I think that this will be very good in the game. And on one stipulation, and I'll go over that stipulation in a second. Basically, you're going to be able to choose which direction you exit out of your first touch from the ball in the air. And even on the ground, I think that this will be good for those like fizzed ball ins from the ground that they say are going to be good here. But the air ball here to the player's knee, and he just goes ahead and touches it out into the space away from the player. That's going to be so important, because back in FIFA 21 and previous FIFAs, they would have to touch the ball down with their and get it into their feet first, unless you use that like RB thing where like you could leave the ball and it would just go past you and you could run after it. You know what I mean? We'll go over that in a second as well with one of the other skill moves that they have. But I do think that this could be a very good skill move in the game, and I do think that this will go along with the other thing that we have coming on, which is the first time skill moves, which is right here. Look at this, boys. These first time skill moves are going to be crazy. Again, you'll be able to basically pick the direction that you want to open up the space into, which is better than you've ever done before. That is like the roulette there that you could do while holding LT or whichever one it is. I don't remember. The first time drag back there, which is just crazy. I think that's going to be such a broken move there, that first time drag back to get yourself into space. If you do it enough in a game, you'll be able to eventually just drag this way, you know, just do a whole drag back where you turn around and you just turn that player and you're in on that. I mean, look at this center back coming up with the drag back here. He just chases after him. Look at all this space here. So even if you do a drag back and like push forward, if somebody's running into the space, that's an easy pass and most likely an easy goal, depending on what they do with the keepers in this game. I do think that this will be one of those things that increases the skill gap a lot. I think that all of these things that we're going to have in this game are going to increase the skill gap a lot, and I really like that, because a bigger skill gap means more room to learn the game, and also more room for the good players to be good, and for the bad, like the worst players, not necessarily bad players, but worst players to get better, if you know what I mean. Now, the last one that I have here is going to be for like an out there one, and it goes with the the Kinetic Air Battles. Why can't I say this the right way? The Kinetic Air Battles, I think, are going to allow for players to basically play center backs anywhere you want, because back in FIFA 19, if you saw before, and if you watched like Nepenta's videos, he was very popular for it, and a few other people. Back post headers were so important, and like those tornado crosses, just crossing in general, was so important that people would actually play center backs at right back and left back because they're taller, and they would win the headers over the Ibrahimoviches, over the Ronaldos, and things like that. I think that my out there one is going to be like center backs at right back and left back, and specifically DM as well, are going to be so important, because most center backs are going to be good in the air, or they're going to be really physical, so they can win those headers no matter what, or have good jumping. You know, most center backs do, even if they're short. So I think that's going to be very important this year. I think that they won't necessarily nerf center backs at right back and left back, because nobody does it, and they have really high defensive awareness and things like that, so they'll be good. You won't be able to attack with them, but let's be honest, like, I don't know too many people who do attack with their center, like left backs and right backs. There are some that I know. One of my mods, Krieg, he attacks with his left backs and right backs a lot, and I've tried it this year. It does work, but it's just not my play style. I keep my wing backs on stay back while attacking no matter what, so I think that center backs there would be fine, because they got the high defensive awareness, and also they'll be able to win headers no matter what. The reason I think they'll be good at DM is because if, like I said earlier, you have the ball with your goalkeeper and you need to send it up to that tallest player on the pitch, that's basically free possession. You already have possession with the goalkeeper, but you guys know that like when you try to play the ball short, it doesn't always work that way, because sometimes the other team runs up and gets the ball, or sometimes like you misplace the pass, or the pass doesn't get read the right way. Whatever it is, I do think that being able to just punt the ball up to your CDM or your striker or whoever your tallest player is will be the best thing for getting the ball out and getting your attack going. Because if you see here, like I said earlier, he wins the header here under the attacker and finds his own player, which is just crazy. So I think that these will be very broken. And in the same sense, you know, if you do need good ball-playing center backs, which most center backs in this game, at the beginning of the game specifically, are not good at playing the ball, passing the ball, crossing the ball, things like that, and still being physical. That's why people use right and left backs at center back in FIFA 21. DMs at center back may be a huge advantage because you can play a player like Conte, who's not necessarily big, but is good at being physical. He won't win the headers, to be fair, but also he will be able to pass the ball out. You know, maybe have one big center back, one little center back, something like that can play the ball. Or somebody like Souček, who is good at the ball. He's very good with the ball. He's very tall, so he'll win those headers still. I don't know. Those are just my out there ones. We'll probably come back in a year and see if we've got any of these right. I didn't do this video while muted, so that's very nice. If you guys have any suggestions as to what you think will be very meta in the game, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like, leave a comment, and also subscribe if you haven't already. We're trying to grow FIFA 22. The Road to Team of the Year is coming back at the beginning of FIFA 22, and I'm very, very excited. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you all. Peace.